welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. Today I'm here with the Crafters Workshop to show you how to create a Christmas card using a custom colour of glitter paste using your light and fluffy modelling paste. Plus we're going to be using some more altered pages and so much more. So let's get started. We need to make our snowflake base. For that I have a piece of watercolor cardstock because I want a little bit of texture underneath so the snowflakes kind of look like they're falling amongst other snow. So I've got some watercolor cardstock. I have the TCW stencils snowflakes on top, one of the new releases. I have my light and fluffy modelling paste, and I have some Nuvo Glimmer paste. This is the blue Topaz, but it comes out to a really nice light blue when we mix it in with that modelling paste. I also have these taped onto a craft mat, and I have my spare craft mat here because I cut mine down to smaller card making sized pieces. And the reason I do that is so that they fit in my stamp platforms, and I just find them a little bit easier to work with. And this one you can see is my grubby one that I love to mix pastes and things onto. So my lid was a little bit stiff, but I just gave it a tap on my work surface. It comes out perfectly. Now you don't need a huge amount. That's going to be probably quite enough for a card. I'll probably get a couple of cards out of that. So let's screw that lid back on again. And I'm going to use that Nuvo paste, and I'm going to use the tiniest little bit. I'm actually just going to grab some out the top there. You can always add more, but it's a lot harder to line it back out. So you can see here how I'm mixing it just like some icing is always how I think of it. And I'm getting that lovely blue, light blue, snowy kind of colour in there. And that glimmer paste is also adding that little bit of sparkle to it as well. I'm going to add a tiny bit more. So just add it in small amounts until you have the colour that you're happy with. I want it to still stand out against the white. Let's grab the rest out of this lid. It's a great way of adding colour and sparkle all at once. You can also mix in your acrylic paints and gesso. So you can make any custom colour. You can use your distress inks, lots of different ways you can colour your modelling paste. That's nice, it's got a nice glittery tone, and it's still that nice light icy blue that I was looking for. So I'm going to start picking this up, and I'm going to just pop it down, and I'm going to pull it across like this. So I'm just laying it across, pulling it with my palette knife. I've got my palette knife around about a 45-degree angle to pull across like this, and it doesn't matter if you don't fully scrape it off. I could probably get 2 cards out of this piece, so you could make bulk Christmas cards. You'll need, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes for them to dry, but you're not going to leave the stencil on there while it's drying because otherwise you'll have real issues getting it off afterwards. Once we've done a little bit of cleanup there, I'm going to pull off my masking tape, and this is my favourite, this purple painter's tape. And there we are, that's a lovely snowflake background on there. I'm also going to pull up these pieces off the corners. Very small amount that I had on there just to hold the paper down. And I just want to make sure I lift that up off of there as well. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and then we can mount up our card. So now we're ready to assemble our card. Here's our beautiful card piece. Look at all that shimmer and shine and that light blue colour and texture in there. Really happy with how that's come out. I had a piece of silver ribbon in my stash that I'm going to put around here. And I'm going to tie a bow onto the left hand side. Now if you have another person to hold their finger in there, it will help you, but I'm going to do mine on my own here. So place my hand in there, and I'll knot it before I tie my bow because otherwise it will become loose. Now I'm going to tie my bow here, and of course the great idea of doing it at this stage is whichever way your bow comes out, whether it's top or bottom, it doesn't make any difference. You just turn your card piece accordingly. I'm going to try and keep it here if I can. Like so. And I'm going to trim off that end, just a little bit of an angle there. So now I have that tied on, I'm going to start assembling up. So I have a piece of Blue Jay cardstock from Lawn Fawn. I'm going to stick onto a card base. Regular card base, half 8.5 by 11. My Blue Jay is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. I'm going to open this up as usual to layer this up, like so. And then I'm going to add this piece on here. I'm going to make sure my ribbon is straight first of all. Now lots of you asked me when I used the big red bow the other day some ideas if you were sending this through the mail. This one would just require the regular extra postage. It's not too bulky or anything like that. I would just put this in a normal envelope, maybe a little bit of the packing foam over the top, but I wouldn't worry too much about this one. You could also use as a great Lawn Fawn die for bows that you could use to pop a bow over here. I like this bow on an angle, but you could twist it and make it a little bit more front facing if you wanted to. Now, as part of the collaboration this October with Altered Pages and the Crafters Workshop, I have this lovely Merry Christmas that I got off one of their vintage printables. This is the Christmas phrases, and of course I will link it all in the supplies for you. Just printed this on some regular printer paper, and I'm layering it onto a piece of red foiled card. I'm not usually a huge fan of red foil, but I think with this it'll bring out some of those lovely colours and give that extra contrast on there. A small amount can look really nice. And for that I'm going to use some of my little bits of foam that I have left over. It's only a small piece. Like this again. And I'm going to pop my Merry Christmas on there too. So there you have another wonderful Christmas card to add to our stash. I hope you enjoyed this one as well. Do give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you don't already. You can see some of those pictures on your screen that we took of the card and some close-ups of that wonderful paste that I created with the light and fluffy modelling paste and the Nuvo Glimmer paste in there as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hit that subscribe button if you don't already, and I'll see you again very soon for some more inspiration. Happy stamping! Bye!